Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 1 Al-Fatiha, revealed before Hijrah. Place and time of revelation. As reported by many traditionalists, the whole of this surah was revealed at Mecca, and from the very beginning formed part of the Muslim prayer. The surah has been referred to in the Quranic verse, "We have indeed given thee the 7 often repeated verses," and the great Quran, chapter 15, verse 88, which was admittedly revealed at Mecca. According to some reports, the surah was also revealed a second time at Medina. The time of its first revelation, however, may be placed very early in the Prophet's ministry. Names of the surah and their significance. The best known title of this short surah, that is Fatihatul Kitab, opening chapter of the book, is reported on the authority of several reliable traditionalists. The title was later abbreviated into Suratul Fatiha or simply Al-Fatiha. The surah is known by quite a number of names. The following 10 are more authentic: Al-Fatiha, As-Salat, Al-Hamd, Ummul Quran, Al-Quranul Azim, As-Sabul Mathani, Ummul Kitab, Ash-Shifa, Ar-Ruqayya, and Al-Kanz. These names throw a flood of light upon the extensive import of the surah. The name Fatihatul Kitab, opening chapter of the book, signifies that the surah, having been placed in the beginning, serves as a key to the whole subject matter of the Quran. As-Salat, the prayer, signifies that it forms a complete and perfect prayer and constitutes an integral part of the institutional prayers of Islam. Al-Hamd, the praise, signifies that the surah brings to light the lofty purpose of man's creation and teaches that the relation of God to man is one of grace and mercy. Ummul Quran, mother of Quran, signifies that the surah forms an epitome of the whole of the Quran, containing in a nutshell all the knowledge that has a bearing on man's moral and spiritual development. Al-Quranul Azim, the great Quran, signifies that although the surah is known as Ummul Kitab and Ummul Quran, it nevertheless forms part of the holy book and is not separate from it, as mistakenly considered by some. As-Sabul Masani, the often repeated 7 verses, signifies that the 7 short verses of the chapter virtually fulfill all the spiritual needs of man. It also signifies that the chapter must be repeated in every rakat of prayer. Ummul Kitab, mother of the book, signifies that the prayer contained in the chapter was the cause of the revelation of the Quranic dispensation. Ash-Shifa, the cure, signifies that it provides remedy for all the legitimate doubts and misgivings of man. Ar-Ruqayya, the charm, signifies that it is not only a prayer to ward off disease, but also provides protection against Satan and his followers and strengthens the heart of man against them. Al-Kanz, the treasure, signifies that surah is an inexhaustible storehouse of knowledge. Connection with the rest of the Quran. The surah forms, as it were, an introduction to the Quran. It is in fact the Quran in miniature. Thus, at the very beginning of his study, the reader becomes familiar in broad outline with the subjects he should expect to find in the Holy Book. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is reported to have said that Suratul Fatiha is the most important chapter of the Quran. Subject matter. The surah contains the essence of the entire Quranic teaching. It comprises in outline all the subjects dealt with at length in the body of the Quran. It starts with a description of the fundamental attributes of God, which form the pivot round which all the other divine attributes revolve, and the basis of the working of the universe and of the relation between God and man. The four principal divine attributes, Rabb, creator, sustainer, and developer; Rahman, gracious; Rahim, merciful; and Maliki Yawmiddin, master of the day of judgment, signify that after having created man, God endowed him with the best natural capabilities and provided the means and material needed for his physical, social, moral, and spiritual development. Further, he made a provision that man's strivings and endeavors should be amply rewarded. The surah goes on to say that man has been created for ibadah, that is the worship of God and the attainment of his nearness, and that he constantly needs his help for the fulfillment of this supreme object. The mention of the four divine attributes is followed by a comprehensive prayer in which all the urges of the human soul find full expression. The prayer teaches that man should always seek and invoke the assistance of God, that he may provide him with the means required for success in this life and in the life to come. But as man is apt to derive strength and inspiration from the good example of those noble and great souls of the past who achieved the object of their life, he is taught to pray that, like them, God should open up for him also avenues of unlimited moral and spiritual progress. Finally, the prayer contains a warning lest, after having been led to the right path, he should stray away from it, lose sight of his goal, and become estranged from his Creator. He is taught to remain always on his guard and constantly to seek God's protection against any possible estrangement from him. This is the subject which is put in a nutshell in Al-Fatiha, and this is the subject with which the Quran deals fully and comprehensively, citing numerous examples for the guidance of the reader.